Christine Pitawanich with your weekly recap. We'll be catching you up on some of the biggest stories of the week, headlined by the latest developments on delayed federal food assistance. Our top story, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek announcing on Friday morning that Oregonians now have access to full November SNAP benefits. On Friday, we heard from a handful of KGW viewers who said their SNAP cards had been reloaded, and posts online indicated those payments include full benefits. Meantime, the Trump administration has asked a federal appeals court for an emergency pause on a judge's order to fully fund SNAP benefits this month. And the ongoing government shutdown meant delays for people who receive SNAP food benefits. While benefits are now returning for this month, local nonprofits have been busy filling the gap. Libby Dowsett has the story.
Looks like roasted potatoes, a mix of bean and beef chili with a wonderful biscuit and some vegetables on the side.
Crews are ramping up production at Portland's Feed the Mass kitchen in Portland's Old Town. Some volunteers fueled with anger over the SNAP crisis.
A mix of rage and sadness, and I knew that I needed to do something with those emotions, and this was the first thing that came to mind.
The founder of the organization, Jacobson Valentine, saying they're already doing 6,000 meals a week and now leaning on volunteers to meet a doubling in demand.
People are able to see the results in real time and be able to say, hey, I did 300 meals today. I did 500 meals today. Our team did, 1,000 meals today.
When volunteers or employees, this is our serving station. So when the food is already cooked and completed, they make individual servings for one person.
Terica Robinson says they cook about 6 recipes a week for different organizations.
This is a completed box. This is getting ready to go out for delivery to one of our Safe Rest villages.
But this month, they're getting emails every day asking for help.
These are all new contacts. None of them are repeat. They just need some kind of assistance. They're trying to feed their families, how they're going to make it through the next day. So we just give them what we can.
It might be roasted chicken like this. It might be pulled chicken that we boil, and it'll end up about 600 pounds. And then we'll stretch that with rice and some vegetables into about 1,000 meals. We're really pushing ourselves to do a little bit more and have a little extra on hand for when the phone rings and somebody says, hey, I need it.
A growing demand they've met during other emergencies, including COVID and extreme weather events, but now hoping others will join them to feed the mass.
It's heart-wrenching, but at the same time, I'm grateful that we can provide.
Well, if you have a flight this weekend, you'd better check your flight status. The FAA ordered airlines to cut up to 10% of their flights at high-volume airports. That includes PDX because of the government shutdown and a shortage of air traffic controllers. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the move is meant to lessen the stress on air traffic controllers who have gone unpaid during the government shutdown. Travelers we spoke with at PDX told us they were frequently checking in on the status of their return flights.
Refreshing the apps, checking the updates, making sure, we'd arrive on time. But yeah, so far, we're not too concerned. We think we'll make it.
Hopefully they did. The Port of Portland says travelers should check in with their airline for the latest travel updates and get to the airport with lots of extra time to check in and to go through security. Now to an update on Portland's camping ban enforcement, which just resumed the previous weekend. City data show there were 40 arrests, mostly for existing warrants. Outreach teams gave 83 warnings, 7 citations, and connected 39 people to shelters. Mayor Keith Wilson says the goal is to get people help, not just arrest them. The city notes that police can write a ticket if a person declines the offer of available shelter while they're camped on public property or in the right-of-way. Rob Lane with Portland Solutions says enforcement can resume as the city expands shelter space.
It's not going to be the solution to all homelessness, but what it is it's a life-saving intervention to keep people from dying.
In a statement, the mayor says he's proud of the job outreach workers and officers have done. Currently, the city is offering 880 overnight beds, and Lane says last week they averaged about 76% occupancy. Portland voters approved a new parks levy. It's a 75% increase in what people are paying for parks right now. though its passing comes as questions have flown about the city handling the money it already had to maintain the parks. An audit of the Parks Bureau showed nearly 90% of park facilities are in, quote, poor condition, and also found there's apparently no plan to pay for parks upkeep. Levy supporters, including City Council President Ilana Pertle-Guinea, says the levy includes measures to increase accountability and transparency.
In this levy, we ensured that we included the cost of new facilities that were coming online. We don't want to make those same mistakes. What we do want is a fully functional park system with the investment that we need as a city to provide the program that Portlanders have asked for in our parks. And that's what Portlanders spoke to today.
City Councilor Dan Ryan came out last week against the levy, saying the Bureau should focus on generating more of its own revenue. And it looks like people in Vancouver will see higher property taxes. The money is meant for more police officers. Proposition 5 is expected to raise $6 million over the next 6 years. Jay Coulter followed up after election night.
They'll be able to take care of business like they should be.
As long as the money is used for it's actually what it's supposed to be used for, I've got no problem with it.
As Vancouver experiences rapid population growth, the city's police force has been stretched thinner and thinner.
It's really needed. Our calls for service have gone up about 24% since 2017, and our numbers have not gone up in terms of officers.
Vancouver operates the second lowest staffed police department among Washington cities with a population over 100,000. This creates longer response times and a reliance on overtime to maintain coverage.
We're really focused on our officers' wellness so that the public, when they do call 911 and the officer shows up, they're getting the best officer they can.
Proposition 5 increases Vancouver's regular property tax rate by 15 cents per $1,000 assessed value. For example, if your home is worth $500,000, you would pay about an additional $75 annually. That money will allow the department to add up to 13 full-time officers and the equipment necessary for them to do their jobs.
It would be nice if it was just a person, but there are a lot of other things that come with that. There's the vehicles, there's all the equipment that we give our folks to go out there and do the best job they can.
I'm glad that they're going to get the things that they need, and new officers, fresh faces.
Though one resident we spoke with says she wishes the burden hadn't fallen on the taxpayers.
I definitely support the police 100%. We want to make sure that they're funded, that they have all the funds that they need to protect the residents and protect our city. I just don't support how they are gaining the funds to direct them to the department.
Again, that was Jay Coulter reporting. You can stay up to date with the latest local election results by texting the word election to the number on your screen. That is 503-226-5088, and we'll text you right back with a link to those results on our website. To North Portland now, where some schools were on high alert during the week after reports of ICE activity. Cesar Chavez and George Middle Schools activated what they called a Secure the Perimeter protocol for a short time Thursday morning. That means exterior doors were locked and activities had to remain inside the building. Teaching continued as normal. As word spread about the ICE presence, many people came out to rally around the schools at the end of the day. They included Multnomah County Commissioner Shannon Singleton.
This is a community that wants to take care of each other, and I'm really proud that folks showed up to just make sure that at a minimum we could observe any ICE activity and document it to ensure that people's rights were being realized.
In a letter to families, Portland Public Schools said its security services were working with impacted schools to monitor any activity. As of Friday, we don't have any reports of ICE making arrests near the schools. And to the south, Salem-Keizer Schools, the second largest district in Oregon, says it is slashing its budget by at least $25 million next year due to a growing gap between revenue and expenses. In a letter to families, the school board says 95% of its operating budget goes towards salaries and benefits, which increase by 9% annually. Last year, the district narrowly avoided a teacher strike by agreeing to a 2-year deal worth $42 million. District officials say they'll have more details on the cuts in a couple weeks when the state releases its updated economic forecast. ODOT crews spent their Friday inspecting the underside of the Morrison Bridge, looking for any loose debris. This after KGW spoke to a driver who had video showing a piece of concrete from the bridge falling onto his car.
Right when it hit, it just exploded, and it felt like a bomb dropping on our car.
So scary. The family was hit driving home from church on I-5 last Sunday. A piece of concrete fell from the Morrison Bridge, or Morrison Street Viaduct rather, onto Enrique Ruiz's Tesla, while his wife and his kids were also inside. It left a good-sized dent in the hood. You can see it there, just inches away from the windshield.
I don't know, man. The good thing is we were on our way back from church and something was watching over us, because this is a millisecond time.
Multnomah County, which manages the city's bridges, tells us this appears to be a first-time sort of thing, and the pieces that fell were not structural. And Oregonians can expect some money back come tax time. The state revenue department announced Friday that Oregon has a $1.41 billion kicker surplus. That means next year filing taxpayers will see a credit on their state returns. The amount you'll get depends on how much you paid in taxes for 2024. The state also has an online calculator that'll tell you your kicker amount. We'll have that link on our website, kgw.com. Now here's a look at your weather.
On a Friday, I know it's not the weekend yet, it's Friday. I'm Rod Hill, but we are celebrating our first dry weekend upcoming in a month. That's our overwhelming headline on the marquee. I want to step back real quick and talk about wind gusts that came without warning, literally, to the Oregon coast yesterday between 1 and 2:30. There were no warnings up, and I stood here 24 hours ago and told folks that it wouldn't be as windy Thursday as it would be Wednesday, as it was Wednesday. And that was mostly true, except for the coast between 1 and 2:30, when our last weather system pushed inland. A quick burst of wind produced 66-mile-per-hour gusts in Astoria, 63 Newport. This was outside of Garibaldi, about 2 miles outside of town, 79-mile-per-hour gusts and 53 up at Timberline. Now, luckily, these are all areas, obviously, that get wind, so we're not seeing any reports of damage or anything like that. The jet stream played a role in that, we believe, of strong winds aloft. And that jet stream still into us early this morning, feeding scattered showers. But when you hear a forecaster talk about ridging, they're talking about what you're seeing here. This is the jet stream going into the weekend, kind of arcing high around us. And literally systems out in the Pacific hit this wind burst and they get held back. It's like a wall. And because the weather systems then are kind of protected from moving into our area, we typically associate ridging with dry weather. And that's what we're going to have this weekend. Winds will be light, except for east winds coming out of the gorge will pick back up, because we're going to have a surface high move in, and we'll be on the back side of that high, and that'll give us those east winds. Here's the moisture break. This doesn't look like it's a definite yet, but these clouds and this system will hold out to sea, and again, we will become all dry. We'll start to see that ridging take hold later today. Futurecast takes the scattered showers we have this morning, including some pretty good ones, and pretty much dries us out by 5 or 6 p.m., and then we get going into the weekend all dry. Not perfectly clear. Here's partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Maybe some mid to high level clouds on Sunday. But we think Sunday's the best bet to see some decent blue sky as well. And again, the east winds gusting to about 30 coming out of the gorge. Those winds return tonight into tomorrow. Up in the mountains real quick, Timberline picked up 2 inches of new snow. The snow level generally did hold above passes. There was a little bit of snow around Santiam Pass this morning, but the roadway was fine. And the Cascade roadways are just wet and clean today. All right, here's some cameras. We are getting sun breaks mixed in with the showers. Lincoln City at this moment showing beautiful blue skies from our Chinook Winds Casino resort camera. You can see raindrops on the lens and some breaks in the cloud cover along the Columbia River. Folks coming in from Vancouver, the Springs at the waterfront camera. Oh, this has been pretty. Salem has been mostly sunny this morning, while Portland has had some scattered showers move through. So really pretty shot of our state capital. High temperatures today, mainly reaching 50 or better. Could be a few spots out east holding in the upper 40s. And again, statewide, we think the showers are out of here by this evening. So it is weekend time. 57 today, all dry tonight, and pretty warm this weekend. I mean, 60 is considered warm, right, for this time of the year. 60 tomorrow, 63 on Sunday. Don't forget the east winds gusting to 30 near the gorge, but if you are wind protected because of topography from the wind, you'll have light winds. Then shower chances return, it looks like, starting Monday afternoon.
And that is a wrap on your weekly recap. I'm Christine Pitawanich. A reminder, you can catch up on the latest headlines anytime on KGW.com, your KGW app, or our YouTube channel.